everyone, it's Sarah here. I know I've been missing in action for a really long time. I tend to do that even though I am still doing a bit of creative stuff. I can lose my mojo for a while and it takes me time to get going again. But I wanted to share with you something that if you follow my sister Rachel, you've probably heard about what we're doing. We're doing a slow stitch collaboration with a group of 6 other people, well, myself, my sister, and then 5 other people, so 7 in total, which was the brilliant idea of Susanna Easdale to get together 7 girls who do slow stitching, and what we're doing is we're swapping a block each month for 6 months. So I'll get six blocks in total. My first 2 have arrived and I cannot believe how amazing they are. So I thought I'd share them with you. So I'm going to start with this one first. So this one was made by Melanie Sullivan and I couldn't believe how excited I was to receive this. I won't show you her card. I've actually looked through everything, so it's all open. But not only has Melanie done me the slow stitch piece, I can't believe she sent me all these extra goodies. And for you junk journalers, she sent me a journal. Oh my gosh, cannot believe she sent me a journal. So I'm assuming Melanie comes from Texas because this is a postcard from Texas, which is pretty cool. And then inside this little paper bag here, we've got some other little goodies, and there's lots of little like feed sack fabrics. I'll just show you. So little Suffolk puffs or yo-yos as some people call them, some gorgeous little embellishments so that we can do some extra bits and pieces of our own. And these are all old feed sack fabrics, and I love feed sack fabrics. I've got some bits and pieces, but they are super hard to find here. You can't just go to a store or even antique markets or anything and find these. They're really hard to find, so they are absolutely brilliant. And my favorite color is actually neon pink. I love all colors, but I love neon pink. And how bright is that fabric? That is so cool. So I will be using those bits and pieces in projects, or I might even add to the project that I'm doing with the blocks that I receive. And then this is a beautiful old piece of quilt with lots of sort of feed sack fabrics and things like that as well, which will come in handy. Now this is the gorgeous journal that she sent me. I'll give you a quick flip through. I cannot believe Melanie sent me a journal with a gorgeous little bee, lots of tuck spaces with journaling cards, tea-dyed papers. I won't pull it all out, just in the interest of time. I'll just give it a quick flip. Like gorgeous, that looks like an old postcard or card. Great pieces of fabric along the side. I love the tea dyeing. That's cool. I don't know how you do that. Never done that kind of thing before. I love that punch across the edge of the paper. Some vellum paper. Little bits of fabric everywhere. So pull this out. Little index card or recipe card. It's just gorgeous. I can't believe Melanie sent me a journal. I'm trying to collect a few journals. I've got quite a few now. I've got another couple coming in the mail. And I really want to have a bookshelf full of journals, even if I don't end up using them all, which I probably won't. I might not. Who knows? I just want to have a lovely collection of lots of different people's journals that they make, because so much time and effort and love goes into making these. It's just beautiful. I love that. It's really pretty. And that's good, great texture. It's just gorgeous. So massive surprise to receive that. And then the quilt block, and then this is her amazing piece. I was absolutely blown away when I received it. Her stitching is immaculate. It is so perfect. And when I think about what I did, I feel like, gosh, mine's nowhere near as good as this. How beautiful is that little bird? And I love the crown, and there's the tiniest beads you've ever seen stitched on. So what we had to do is we had to give our colour preferences. So my colours that I chose were basically like spring garden colours with indigo blue, because I love indigo blue, and a pop of neon pink, which beautiful pop of bright pink there, and even in the stitching. And look how beautiful the fussy cut flowers are. Like, these are appliqued down with little French knots around the outside. So that was the most beautiful start to my project. So you might be thinking, what am I going to do with these panels? Well, I think some people might be doing a wall hanging. I'm thinking of making them into a fabric book. So stitching them all together and putting them into like a textile book. So that's my thoughts at the moment, but who knows, they could change. So that's block 1 from Melanie. And just this week, just a couple of days ago, I received number 2. So again, I'm going to show you the front of this card. This one is from Susanna Easdale. That's Susanna's artwork. That's amazing. I wish I could paint and draw like that. It's so pretty. I love the eyes. They're fantastic. So thank you so much to Melanie. I've already sent a message of thanks to both Melanie and Susanna, but I just can't believe how generous and fantastic these projects are. So the first thing is, this is a piece of vintage tablecloth that Susanna has wrapped up my goodies in, and part of this tablecloth is actually in the background of the piece that she did. So this here is a little kit for me to be able to make my own like scissor case. Is that what you call it? I'm going to have to check on how to make that, because I'm not sure. I kind of get the idea, but I'm going to have to work out how to make it. So it's got all the layers I need and the fabrics, and then some beautiful things to embellish with. So that'll be a fun project to do, and some gorgeous buttons. And that would make a fantastic journaling card as well. And in here, I've opened this. There are some I love tiny buttons. Again, hard to find here. Sorry, little tiny buttons. Like, that's like a fabric one, like linen. They're beautiful. So I'll be using them. And a beautiful old card of thread. I would actually use that thread, and once you've used it, the card would be, again, good to put in a journal. I'm actually thinking of making a journal with vintage, like a vintage sewing journal with vintage things like this. Now these seem to be printed on some kind of canvas, so I think that I might be able to put these into my textile book that I'm going to make. So we've got a beautiful hummingbird, and then like that looks like a vintage print, like illustration of some flowers, some dahlias, and I'm not sure what the ones at the back are. So this piece of fabric that I'd be able to embroider on. It's very Christmassy. I could do something Christmas with that. Gorgeous piece of lace. An embroidered doily, and of course I love these. I've got so many of them, I just keep collecting. That one's got great colours. Now lots of little bits of fabric, so some chenille fabric, floral fabrics. These ones are good for just doing little bits of embroidery as well. Show you the little bits and pieces. All in pretty garden colours, spring colours is what I wanted. It feels a bit like a linen, that one. Very pretty. That one's gorgeous. Sometimes, like even on slow stitching, people put them in on the reverse if they want them faded down a little bit. That one's pretty. A little bit of bling in that one, shimmery. And that's like a piece of, it's kind of like a piece of peachy, feels a bit like a linen as well. And then this trim, which is pretty. And this trim is what Susanna used in her piece. So this is the piece. It's absolutely gorgeous. So she's got a video up. I might put a link in, actually I will, not might. I'll put the link to her video explaining what she's done. But she's got some Suffolk puffs here, and she's stitched some little buttons, not buttons, sorry. It looks like beads in there, little pearl beads, and some little sort of a yellowy colour. So she's got the background, which is done in the tablecloth, which my beautiful package was wrapped up in. And this apparently came off, must have been maybe a little girl's dress. So I love that it's upcycled. I love everything vintage and anything that's reused or old. And also these buttons came off it as well, that dress. So then we've got the beautiful indigo blue with some seed stitching on top and gorgeous lace down the side. And we've got some running stitch and also some French knots there. And then this looks like beautiful lavender made out of French knots and some different stitches. Gorgeous button there, not button, bead, which is a butterfly, super sweet, and a little gnome house, which is gorgeous. And then if you have a look at Susanna's YouTube channel, she actually showed how she made this. It's like an embroidered rose, it looks like a bullion stitch there with some French knots. Sorry, excuse me. And I love this bunny. It's super cute. And Susanna signed her name, which was good because I totally forgot to sign mine. So I apologise for my first one. I've almost finished my second. I should probably sign it. And then one of the things that Susanna said to do in our pieces was add a touch of yourself. So Susanna loves tea. So she's done a little teacup here and it says time for tea, which is super cute. So really excited about this project. Look at my gorgeous first two blocks. How amazing is this book going to be? And we are literally getting things. This swap, this collaboration is all over the world. So this came from the US. This one's come from Australia, but there are some other people that are overseas as well, and I will talk about them as the next ones come up. So I kind of feel like my stitching, I mean, I know the lady that's received my first one, she says she's really liked it, but I kind of saw these and thought, oh my gosh, they're so good. I don't even know if mine can even compete with it. Like, I don't, not compete, but they can't even be as good as these. But, you know, she loved it. So I guess each person has their own style. And that's the fun of the project, that you get a little bit of each person's style. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this. I will endeavour to get some more videos done. Yes, I know there's been nothing wrong with me. I'm not sick or anything. It's just my son, look, my son's away at the moment. He's for his school for 2 terms, so 6 months. They go away to an outdoor education campus, which is 2.5 hours away from Sydney where I am. And I've been missing him a lot, and I've just been focused on work. And I have been doing a bit of stitching actually. I might show you one more project that I'm working on at the moment. I haven't done much paper crafting, but I should get back into that soon. So I'll explain this. So there's an artist in Sydney called Paulette Hayes, I think is her name. I can link her at the bottom, and she raises awareness about domestic violence. And a couple of years ago, I think it was a couple of years ago, she did a project where she made these amazing little houses out of scrapbooking paper that represented an Australian female who was murdered through domestic violence or violence against women. It's not all domestic. Some of it's violence against women, so by strangers or people that aren't part of their family. But what she's doing this year, she's working on a project where she's put together, I think it's 85 blocks representing an Australian female who was murdered. I think it was in 2014. So I've asked for 3 blocks. I've got 3. I've almost finished my second. I've just got to finish off my third. This was my first. And I asked for 3 Indigenous women because I'm quite passionate about Indigenous people's rights and respecting Indigenous people, etc. So I really wanted to honour 3 Indigenous Australians. So this poor lady, her story is horrific. I'm not going to go into the detail because it could really upset some people, but she was only 36 when she was murdered by her partner. I think he was her husband. So the idea is that I've put 45 butterflies on here, and they're all out of either felted wool or wool felt, and then they've got a little body and little antennas. And it's representing the 45 times that she contacted police and the 45 times that she should have been granted freedom from her abusive relationship. So the 45 butterflies are representing her freedom. And this is a quote that I read from one of her police reports, which said, "I'm tired of being hurt." In the background here, each block has the shape of the lady who was murdered. Some of the ladies are unknown, and my next one I'll show you, which I'm still working on, is an unknown woman. But this is actually from some sheets that I bought by an Indigenous mother and daughter painters who have made some sheets for a company called Adair's, which sells beautiful bed linen, and it came in a bag. So it's actually from an Indigenous painting, and I've put the fabric to represent the Indigenous lady. So that's my first one. And apparently this name, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to pronounce it, I won't even try. This name is given to Indigenous people when they pass away. So she would have had a different first name and then Murphy, and she's passed away, so she's given this name. I think it's a sign of respect. So I'll just grab my second block. I'm actually still working on it. But just to show you, I have been doing some work. This is an unnamed woman again. We think it was an Indigenous woman who was 47 years old when she was killed. And what I decided to do is I've decided to embroider and stitch down fabric of a beautiful garden, so she rests in peace in a beautiful garden. So I've got an antique or vintage piece of trim that's going to go across the top, and I'm probably going to do either a bird or a butterfly up here. I might do a butterfly. So that's my second one I'm working on. I've actually done some little bits of embroidery, a lot across the bottom. You have to put your initials in the box. Seed stitching around there. I've got to finish this one, and this one. And then I want to pop something up here. And then my third one, it's only just started, so I might show you that one later on. So that's just an extra project I've been working on, just because I'm interested in the topic and passionate about raising awareness of that kind of thing as well. So I wanted to get involved. Okay, hope you enjoyed seeing what I've been up to, and I'll see you soon. Bye.